This is Laura, aka the Sound Sommelier, here with Frank Nitt. How you doing, Frank?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm chilling. How about
Thanks,
yourself?
thanks for joining me. I'm doing okay. What's your
Mm-hmm.
what's your earliest memory of hip hop?
Oh, wow. Um, memory. Uh, I think it's but see, I don't recall where I discovered breakdancing,
Mm-hmm.
but like one of the best memories I have as a little kid, I was probably about 8 or 9 years old, and I had just learned how to windmill. And my mother took me to Disney World in Florida, and on the off time, we were staying like on this resort, right? And I was a little kid, I precocious running around, so I was out on the like tennis court out in front of the thing, and the ground was really smooth. I don't know what the surface was, but it was
Nice.
really really smooth, so it was perfect for windmilling. So I was out there practicing my windmill. And I just remember, little black kid, and then all of these adult, older, it was a bunch of different races. It was a older black lady, older white lady, her
Mm-hmm.
husband, and they all kind of crowded around me, and they were like amazed because breakdancing was relatively new, right?
Right.
So they were like amazed that I could do this, but they were asking me like really like practical questions, like really, how many shirts do you ruin when you're doing that? And I was just like, what? No, I'm just spinning around here. I'm 8. I don't, you know what I'm saying? So
You're like, I don't
I
care
think
about
that's
that.
yeah. So I think that's probably one of the biggest memories of me seeing how like the hip hop thing could touch people.
Did you teach yourself how to windmill?
Yeah. Just watching. And when I was young, I was part of a breaking crew. Actually, it was crazy. But like right around that same time, 9, 10, 11,
Mm-hmm.
I lived in Southwest Detroit for a couple years. Right, my mother had moved over there, and Southwest Detroit. Uh, that's where the Spanish population of Detroit
Okay.
resided. Not that they're not Spanish people everywhere,
Right.
but
The
and really
majority.
more of the
Mm-hmm.
Mexican population, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so and then it was like a lot of mixed in. It was a place for immigrants coming into the country, so it was a melting pot of people. And one of my Spanish homies, and he was actually Puerto Rican, but he was from New York, and he was a
Mm-hmm.
breaker, and he was even a couple years older than me. And I don't know how we even met, but he saw me one day breakdancing, and he took me to the crew, and I became like the little secret weapon of the crew, and we used to battle like in the bank parking lots and all of that. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, uh, it go it hip hop goes so far for me. It's so many different things,
I know,
but
that's why I love asking you that question. I can't remember what you
yeah,
said when I asked you that 5 years ago, but I'll have to look it up.
yeah. It's so many
Um,
different moments.
uh-huh. So which
Mm.
records do you recall playing in your house when you were younger?
Um, MC Hammer,
Okay.
because I had that record. Um, the
What
first
about when,
cassette, I,
sorry,
the
go ahead.
first cassette I ever bought with my own money was Airbnb and Rakim Paid in Full. So that
Nice.
got broken. Uh, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Nice.
That Nightmare on My Street album was really
Hmm.
big in my house because he didn't cuss, so I could play it loud, and my mother didn't care. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Um, and I started DJing at 12, 13,
Okay.
and my mother bought me a crate of records. She just went to the record store and bought every hip hop record on the wall. So at that point, I was playing a little bit of everything. Detroit techno, and I
Yeah.
used to even play "Secret Garden" by by Quincy Jones. I played a
Nice.
little bit of everything because I had to DJ parties, right? So
Hmm. I
you
love
know,
how your mom supported you all your endeavors.
yeah, man. She's that's a wonderful lady. I love that lady. She I won't say she encouraged me to be a rapper, but she never really held me up. If that's what I wanted to do, and she
Hmm.
knew I was serious, she would support me. And the DJing was like that. But even the breakdancing, and even prior to that, like she would, pay for me to go to concerts and just, different things
Hmm.
that she really, really laid it out for me as a kid to be able to do in the realm of music and hip hop.
Nice. So
Yeah.
other than coming up in Detroit, what other factors do you think led to your pursuing a music career?
Um, both my brothers, older brothers, are drummers, and as a young kid, like three, four, five, six, my mother allowed them to have like live bands in the house. They would rehearse in the house.
Hmm.
So I was able to, play with the drums and the guitars, and I gravitated to the drums mostly. And then,
Hmm.
because they did that, and this was, late 70s, early 80s, uh, it was musicians. It wasn't like the rap thing where it's a DJ and a rapper and somebody make the beats, and that's really all you need. You had a
Hmm.
whole band and a singer and all these different things. So, I saw music being made by musicians very early on. And
Hmm.
then when I started dancing, that kind of got incorporated. Like, I danced in a jazz club at, I don't know, 10 or 11, because my cousin was a percussionist for an African jazz band. And
Hmm.
they had a performance up in Ann Arbor, and they wanted the little guy to come out and do his moves and shock everybody. So,
Yeah.
it was kind of in me already. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like
Yeah.
pre hip hop.
Hmm.
Before I was
Hmm.
really a hip hop kid, there was always music and a band and different things around me. And then,
Right.
as a kid, I met Dilla, and then it was over. I was already a hip hop kid, a breaker, and diehard hip hop. But when I met him, he opened
It was,
up
that was
the
it. Hmm.
box. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you and Dank met in middle school. Do you attribute your
Yes.
longtime friendship to your shared love of hip hop culture?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we bonded because we all were dancers. And
Hmm.
again, at that time, it wasn't really cool to be hip hop. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
It wasn't. It's not like it is now. You know what I'm saying? Like you hear a lot of like the newer artists and the younger artists. Uh, they don't even really. They'll express that they don't really have a care for hip hop. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I don't
It's
care
more the
about this.
celebrity. Right.
Yeah, I ain't no rapper. I'm just, So,
Hmm.
and I get it. I get it because when we were coming up, hip hop wasn't a legitimate way out.
Right.
It was very rare that people was doing it. It was some mystical dudes in New York. It wasn't for the rest of us, especially not
Hmm.
Detroit. We sold dope. We didn't, you know what I'm saying? What you doing? Go get this money. What you trying to rap for? Take them colorful clothes off. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like so. Um, and now it's a legitimate way out. And it's not about like we had love for the music. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think for me, and the question was influences, right? Like for me was I think that played a big part that we loved the music. We didn't have the way out mentality. It wasn't about
Right.
money. We didn't have any of that kind
You
of to
didn't have
lean
all the
on. You know what I
shiny
mean?
things. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
So you let. Sorry.
no, no, go.
You let me know when I interviewed you years back that Dank and Dilla were friends for a couple years before you met. When did Frank and Dank come together?
Actually, that's a funny story. I mean, Dank and Dilla met in elementary school,
Hmm.
and I met them when I got in grade six, so middle school, and they met, a couple years before that. Frank and Dank didn't come about until around 94, 95. Now, mind you, Dank was already Dank,
Right.
and Frank was already Frank, obviously,
Hmm.
but because Dank's original name is President Dankworth, that was his full name,
Hmm.
because at the time he was the only one who smoked weed at the time, right? Nobody in the crew smoked weed, and everybody would complain when Dank would come by. What is that smell? And all of this, and Dank was connected on the street, so he would get some really high end weed for way back then, right? And it would stink something awful, and everybody would complain. Everybody, man, what is that? So we named him President Dankworth. So
Hmm.
Dank was, already. So around 94, 95, it was actually Slum Village. It was T3 and Dilla.
Right.
I was rapping in another group, and that had fizzled out. So at this time, I was just kind of with Dilla, hanging around, sparring, getting better in the studio because he was there making music, and then he would say, "Oh, I'm gonna make this beat in 30 minutes." And then we got 30 minutes to write as much of a rhyme as we can. Then we got to say it, whatever it is, and that's how we sparred. That's how he helped me grow as an MC. So I was doing that, and Dank was more in the streets, working a job. He had to be more of an adult than we did. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because he had to fend for himself and then help his mom, help his brothers, do all these different things. So Dank was moving around, chasing paper and trying to get at it. So, and it was like one day, but we was all hanging. We would all go party, go dance, go have fun, and all that together. So one day, T3 and Dilla was like, you know what, y'all should do a song, man. Frank and Dank, y'all should do a group called Frank and Dank, like basically, and we should do a song. Like, we'll help y'all. And for me, I'm already doing it anyway. Dank has aspirations to do so, but his circumstance don't dictate that he can be around as much as I can, right? So, but we was like, yeah, let's do it. And the first song we recorded, well, actually, it was songs before that. But the first official thing that we actually took to the studio, mixed and all that, we just put out on the St. Louis LP, the Young Buck track. So that's originally recorded in 95, mixed in 95 by Dilla. I didn't touch it. I just put it out. So, that was kind of the start. That was our first official song in 1995. So I guess you could say Frank and Dank was, but I mean, he was Dank in 93, 94, 90, you know what I'm saying? So before that, he was already Dank. So
it was just meant to be.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's my brother, man. Shout out to Dank Rehard. That's my brother, man.
Were there other artists around that time who served as influences on your style or your sound? Or otherwise?
Well, for me personally, yes. Busta Rhymes is very high on my list of MCs, right? Of skilled MCs. So, Busta's very influential in not because no one, in my mind, no one can rap like him. He has his own lane he can be in and do what he do, right? But for me, I study the way he does it and the way he's able to change flows and fit in all different type of beats and subject matter and different things that he does, as well as his animation. You have to be a special kind of person to be that animated like that. You get what I'm saying? I'm not that guy. You know what I'm saying? So like I could never replicate that. You get what I'm saying? Or it would be a heavy task for me, right? And but for me, he's one of the most competent MCs when you talking about flow and timing.
Right.
That he's one of those guys in my mind. And that's what makes a good MC to me. Yes, what you say is very important. But if you could dribble with the right pattern to make it sound funky, you might be able to get away with it. You get what I'm saying? You don't necessarily got to be saying anything. So pocket and pattern and flow is very, very important to me when I rank MCs, right? And Busta is a master of that.
Yeah.
And actually, because I have a record with him, right? And I can almost guarantee you he won't remember this. He's not going to remember this. But one of the biggest compliments I got in hip hop was from him. When I was writing a song and he was like, "Yo, that scheme you on, that flow you got, I wouldn't have came like that. I wouldn't have thought of that. That's crazy." And for me, that was like, all right. Okay, somebody who can really, really rhyme well. Yeah, I made it. I almost called my mama. I almost did.
So I'm not sure if my next question makes sense now that you gave me that intel about the St. Louis LP.
No.
I said, how has your sound as a duo evolved from 2003's 48 Hours to last year's St. Louis LP?
It has evolved a lot.
Was there new material on there as well as that song? Or?
Oh yeah, that was the only song that was old material. We just used that song because it was a classic Dilla joint, and we like to have Dilla involved in the things that we do. and we had it in the vault. So it was a way to keep everybody involved, him, me, Dank, the family, all that, right? But no, St. Louis, we got production from King Karnov, who, worked with Anderson .Paak, and he did like the Her single, and he worked
Right.
with Dre and a whole bunch of other guys. So he did 3 on there, and we have my man Landscape from up north in Canada, Tone Masons, my man Mel from Tone Masons, who they did Jay-Z and all types of Beyonce and all types of crazy stuff. But those people, you know what I'm saying? Those are people from Canada. So no, the album is, a lot of new material, and I think our sound has just matured. We have our sensibilities and how we approach things. It's gonna be hip hop. It's gonna be boom bap.
Right.
We're not gonna press and try to give you a trap record or anything like that. If one of the guys want to take the vocals and remix it with a trap beat, that's on them. But like for us, that's where we come from, and there's no reason to. I think there's a reason to evolve in that lane and continue to grow that and make things fresh and new, but in the same vein of where we come from. It's what we do. You know what I'm saying? So, this record, I think that the St. Louis is a very mature Frank and Dank, a very introspective as well as retrospective kind of, look at our history. We got a song on there called History. You know what I'm saying? And it's about that. And we named it St. Louis because that's the block that Dank grew up on in Detroit.
Oh,
and
I was trying to figure
that was that was the place we would all meet up at. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like early on, Dilla would pick me up, then we going on St. Louis, and that's where we gonna smoke. All the fellas is at. We're gonna kick it, whatever, and then go off to do whatever business, studio, whatever we gonna do. And even that, once we were out traveling the world doing things, when we got back into town, everybody knew we're gonna come hang out on St. Louis. Everybody pull up. We're gonna do whatever we do. So St. Louis was paying homage to that, paying homage to our friends, family, our loved ones, and a place that takes us back. We still got family there now. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the St. Louis came from. I know it probably confused a lot of people. They from Detroit. What is this about? But it's about the street. And actually, here's the funny part: Dank's family is from actual St. Louis. His mom was born there. You get what I'm saying? So it's a whole thing to it. But, yeah. But St. Louis is that's where it came from. It came from just that's our place. And we always go back there. Whenever I go back in the D, even if I don't stop, I gotta take a ride up St. Louis just to see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So, and this record is mature in that state. It's not, we didn't do too many, party jams or things like that. I mean, it's some shaky little your little tutors on there, but it's not like what you would old school Frank, especially from like a 48 hours. And 48 hours was still introspective and had messages in the music. There was a lot of partying and a lot of what we were actually doing. I'm a grown ass man now. I got time to be partying 36 days a week. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you think about your family, you think about these different things. And for us, it was always important to put real life into the music. I don't want to make it up, do anything that's not whatever. I want it to be authentic to me. Because if somebody come press me on and question me on it, I don't have no reason not to answer or tell you some made up because it's me. You understand? So, so that the record is very, very much that. And I mean, we put some tricky little, things in there. We got Be Real and Bumpy Knuckles on the record, and and I don't think anybody would expect Frank and Dank to have those two on a record together. And you get what I'm saying? Like it's, and then T3 and from Slum and Illa J, shout out T3 Illa J, and just just a well-rounded album, different producers, different artists. Shout out Botany Applebundance on there as well, and I did a lot on it as far as behind the scenes, all the scratches on the album I did, and just kind of executive produced that one in the sense that I was behind the scenes, setting the schedule, getting the marketing plan, doing all different things, making sure the video's done. And that's kind of what, where I'm going at this point. But yeah, no, that record in particular, like I said, it's nothing. It's not like you're gonna go listen to a record and it's nothing familiar about it.
Right.
You're gonna go listen and say, "Oh, okay." If it has the right
Feels
feel,
familiar.
but yeah, but it's more adult grown or whatever the situation is.
Oh.
It speaks to who we are as men with kids, and you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying.
Oh my
So
God, your
yeah,
son is so grown.
yeah, he's a grown old man. I call him old man. I think I called him a grown ass man, little boy today. I just
I mean,
because he's still my baby. You understand? I know
mhm.
he don't want to hear that, but he's still my baby. You know.
So your last release, Traveling Salesman, dropped in 2018, and you've released several singles even within the last couple months. Can fans
Hmm.
expect any full-length releases in the near future?
Um. Well, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Like I have a few things planned. I mean, I don't know if you're aware, and the people are aware that I dropped a beat album, Frontal Leaf Beats Volume One. So
I
all
saw you
production
posted about
album.
that. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So I got that, and I'm actually working on Volume Two now. So that'll probably be next. And what I'm thinking is I might put a couple of bonus tracks on there of me emceeing over a couple of
Oh, shit.
those.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That I don't know how many I'm gonna do. It might turn into a record. I don't know. It depends on what happens. I'm still making beats at this
No
point.
promises.
Yeah, no promises, but definitely, that's coming. And I got a few little other projects. I've been doing a lot of uh, more behind the scenes work. You understand? Like,
Hmm.
we'll talk about that later on because you
Yeah.
gotta, But yeah. So music. There's always music coming. I can't exactly say what. I know Franz League Beats Volume 2 is coming soon.
Hmm.
Uh, and then, I'm working on some things, and I can actually tell you about this. Shout out to Main Soul, which is Dank's son. His record drops on the 24th of this month. Single Reflections is out right now. And, you can go catch the video on YouTube or you can go download the record. Just look for us on all the platforms. But, yeah, helping with that and things of that nature. I've been, again, behind the scenes more. So there's music coming. There's music coming. So right now, go get Main Soul. Dank got new music out right now. Go get Dank's new music. T3 just put out a beat tape, and people don't know that his last solo record, which is Mr. Fantastic, Frank was behind the scenes when I did kind of the
Oh,
executive work
I did
and
not know
helped
that.
in the marketing and helped broker the deal with him and Delicious Vinyl. And T3 did me a solid, trusted a brother to handle the business, and we ran with it. It was a very good look. I enjoyed that record as well. So again, a lot of behind the scenes things
Hmm.
that I'm kind of got my little fingers, my little crusty fingers in.
Speaking of Delicious Vinyl, you've been promoting
Mm-hmm.
them a lot on your socials. Can you share what they've got going on right now and maybe what's coming out in the near future?
Well, DV always got a bunch of stuff going on. I mean, this COVID thing kind of slowed a lot of stuff down.
Right.
And, as far as like me, again, like I said earlier, uh, DV, I put out a lot of music with DV, obviously, since
Hmm.
2009. I've been putting out records with them. So that's the music side. But DV, shout out to Mike Ross, Rick Ross, owners over there, the whole staff and everybody. They've kind of afforded me uh, a place to grow from being an artist to being behind the scenes, right? Like,
Hmm.
so, like, say, like the Yancey Boys Sunset Boulevard record. I executive produced that record because I dealt with all the artists and did a lot of things behind the scenes that as well as being a rapper on the record. But that what I'm saying. So DV, I deal with them in that aspect a lot. So like we do a block party here every year. I don't know if we're gonna do it this year, obviously with what's going on, but
Right.
I'm involved in that. Uh, Performed a couple years, but then help with booking talent and doing other things in other years. Also with DV, J Dilla merch. If y'all can see that shirt, go get it. Deliciousvinyl.com. They got an exclusive deal with J Dilla merch, and I'm kind of the middleman in that. So I deal with advertising and whatever, rocking and stuff and whatever, but also design and manufacturing on the back end. And shout out to my Dukes, Uncle Tone, Vintage Vibes. They blessed me. The family blessed me with the responsibilities to handle that. You know what I'm saying? So I work with DV a lot with that. So again, this is why DV is reoccurring. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
because we do a lot of things that's outside of just putting out records as an artist. And as well as like parties, and we've done all types of events because like with the merch, a bulk of our marketing strategy is in events. You know what I'm saying? So here, Delicious Vinyl owns pizza shops, and we have events in pizza shops. And
Right.
so, we have, for the big block party, we have a whole J Dilla merch booth and do donuts and records and merch. And so I have to be involved in all these different things. So yeah, DV, man, those are my people, man. They take care of me in that sense that not only an outlet to put out music and to do things of that nature, but also to grow as a businessman and just learn these different avenues and different things I need to know.
Right. So kind of off topic, we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of Dave New York's death. What's one of your best memories you have about Dave?
Oh, that's funny. I thought about this one. This is a good one. On Dilla's last tour before he passed away, he took Dave New York went, right? As everybody that knows the story knows, right? It's probably a story you don't know.
He told me a
Dilla
couple, but it might not be.
Well, you might know this one. Dilla was in a wheelchair, right? For the trip. So most times we were in a vehicle driving, but a couple times we had to get on train for like long distance things, right? And it's one time Dilla and Dave ended up way up in the front, and the rest of us way in the back, right? So the trains pulls up, especially in Europe. Load off people, power people on, and it's gone, right? It's not a lot of wait time.
Right.
So, oh my God. We get to the stop. We all get off, grab all the bags. Dilla and Dave is in the front. They get Dilla off.
Oh no.
Or wait.